Hi doctor friends, welcome to my YouTube channel PG Dr. INDRANJU. Today's topic is about the microbiology one liner part 3rd. I will detail all thing about this one liner, and previously I have uploaded the two video about the microbiology and best response behalf of me and you both. So thanks for watching my video and for your support, and let us start without wasting of the time. The first is a 70-year-old woman refused to take influenza vaccine and later developed influenza and died after a week. 1 week, sorry, due to pneumonia. Here are the most common cause of the acute post-influenza pneumonia is Staphylococcus aureus. The first, I will let us describe the influenza. That means Haemophilus influenza. What is a short story about this question? So, the H influenza. H influenza is, first of all, it is the triple N, and triple N, what integrate N, triple N O. You have already know about the N2O nitrous oxide, but it is here N3O. N3O, N indicates the non-motile, non-sporing and negative bacilli of O4 oxidase positive. I have already uploaded the video about the oxidase positive, urease positive organism with a trick, but it is here the N3. N3 indicates the non-sporing, non-motile and negative bacilli and oxidase positive organism. Oxidase positive organism is H influenza, and it require growth factor of the factor 5 and factor 10. Factor 5 already I have told about the factor 5 that that it is the NAD, that means the nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, and a factor 10 also known as the hemine, and the factor 5 is most required growth factor for the H influenza, and it is absent in the RBC, that means negative person, and it present in the Staphylococcus. In presence of Staph aureus, it provide factor 5 for H influenza growth. So in H influenza growth well in presence of Staph aureus, so, and also growth of Staph aureus. So if vaccine is not taken to kill the H influenza, so it is the growth of the Staph aureus takes place. This is known as the satellitism. Satellitism, most commonly asked question, that what is the satellitism? You may question ask about the what organism shows satellitism or the H influenza, or option given the Staph aureus or satellitism required factor 5. So all thing about this, and for revision purpose, N for non-sporing, non-motile, gram negative, and O for oxidase positive organism. So it is a most important term about the H influenza, and also some another thing which are required for your knowledge about the H influenza. This is the H influenza is the first living organism that are complete genotype sequenced. That means only this first free living organism whose complete genome has been sequenced. Next point is that the biotype first. It has 8 biotype identified. 8 biotype have been identified, in which the first biotype is the most common causating organism which cause meningitis, most frequent responsible for meningitis of the H influenza, and it is the most important point that the not grow in the blood agar. That means blood agar, it can't be grow in the blood agar due to it required growth factor 5, but in blood the factor 5 is absent, so it can't be grow in the blood agar. So next to that, the H influenza, the disease causing to the human beings, that the two types of disease is the invasive disease and a non-invasive disease. Two types of disease: a non-invasive disease, I will tell you, non-typeable. It is non-capsulated organisms cause otitis media and otitis media and sinusitis. It is a common question repeated in the AIIMS 14. So it is a non-invasive disease and invasive disease is called the type B capsular polysaccharide, which are unique chemical structure, containing the pentose sugar, ribose and ribitol instead of hexose and hexosamines. So it is type B, a special type of the capsular polysaccharide. So it is most common type which cause the most common disease is the meningitis. Many times I repeat about the meningitis due to it is most common cause of the H influenza infection to the patient or men is the meningitis, most common. And the other is invasive disease is the acute epiglottitis, croup and brain abscess and bacteremia. The acute epiglottitis, croup, brain abscess and bacteremia. And due to this type, so in the infant 6 month due to mother antibody, it is the mother antibody which protect from this organism till 6 month. Then after it requires the vaccine. So the pentavalent, you already know the DPT, and it requires HIPS. You already know HIPS, that means the Haemophilus influenza type B. This is the most 95% the case. So HIPS is included in the pentavalent DPT vaccine. So it is most important question. HIPS indicates the B. Many times asked that the what is indicate B, what indicate HI. So this have to remember. Next point. Next is the reverse transcriptase. Reverse transcriptase is present in the, first of all, the hepatitis B virus and retrovirus. That means the HIV. You have to remember HIV. You already know from the medical MBBS preparation, during the MBBS phase and the preparation of the PG, you have already know the retrovirus. Another one is the hepatitis V. AIIMS repeated question that all know about the retrovirus, but some lacks knowledge about the hepatitis B. So remember two things: hepatitis B virus and retrovirus. Next one is the tropical spastic paraparesis is caused by. It is the tropical spastic paraparesis. Spastic, that means one thing, that what is spastic paralysis and flaccid paralysis. So you have to remember two types of paralysis: upper motor neuron disease and lower motor neuron disease. So in the spastic, S is near about the U in the letter, but L lower and flaccid L. So you can't forget that L, lower motor neuron, flaccid L. So this is the trick to remember the lower motor neuron paralysis, upper motor neuron paralysis, spastic paralysis present in the upper motor neuron disease. So here the upper motor neuron disease ask about the tropical spastic paraparesis, the organism causing organism, the HTLV, that means a human T lymphotropic virus causing the tropical spastic paraparesis. Next one is the adult one, which causes lymphatic filariasis. Filariasis is the causating organism. The question is about the Onchocerca volvulus, Brugia malai, and Ocheria bancrofti. That is causating organism of the lymphatic filariasis. And another question is the about the a child is suffering from Haemophilus influenza, encephalitis. Question is asking about the encephalitis, and he was given cefotaxime in place of the penicillin. As a resistant to the penicillin may have been developed. The mechanism of resistance most likely is the first about the penicillin. You have to remember the penicillin causing the beta lactamase property acquiring through the plasmid. That means, what is the beta lactamase? Beta lactamase, that means the bacteria have the ability to, if the I'm elaborating such type things, if this is the bacteria, when the penicillin come, first of all it is the sensitive to penicillin. So it is the receptor which cause activated. First of all the penicillin kill the bacteria, but it has the genetic material which acquired the property to develop. When it is the sensitive, then the genetic material, I will not more detail, but one thing that it has property to form a enzyme. That means enzyme is the beta lactamase or beta penicillinase. This enzyme is work as the scissor to cut through it. So this is the most important thing of the penicillin to the development of the resistant through plasmid. I will upload the what is the resistance. So let us go to the another topic without wasting of the time. Next is a 26-year-old sexually active woman present with the purulent vaginal discharge and dysuria for the 7 days after an unprotected sexual intercourse with the new pattern investigation, most sensitive diagnostic of the condition. Due to here the question asking about the woman present with the purulent vaginal discharge. This is the most common thing, purulent and dysuria 7 days after unprotected sexual intercourse, new pattern. Due to the incubation period, you have to remember that incubation period here, the chlamydia have the incubation period within the 7 days. So and also the purulent vaginal discharge and dysuria, this is most probable thing of the chlamydia infection which causes the purulent vaginal discharge. And for chlamydia infection, it is the polymerase chain reaction for the nucleic acid. And also I will tell about the chlamydia infection, but due to video is more lengthy, so I will upload the video on the chlamydia infection. So let go to the next point, the microbes with pathogenic strain term enteroaggregative and enterotoxigenic, enterohemorrhagic and enteroinvasive type. So also it is the remembering thing that the E. coli have this type pathogenic strain. So you have to remember entero-aggressive, entero-toxigenic, entero-hemorrhagic, entero-invasive. Like that, the in the PG exam, this is not asked about the what is that. The in the PG question written as the entero-aggressive E. coli. If you have not remember the full form, then you will can't able to write tell the right answer. So you have to remember EAEC, enterotoxigenic E. coli, ETEC. Then after EHEC, EIEC. This is the type of the E. coli. So you have to remember such type of the and what cause toxigenic, aggressive, hemorrhagic. I will also tell about such E. coli and video detail. Next thing is the sputum of the patient with cystic fibrosis grew Pseudomonas aeruginosa that produce mucoid colony. It implies that means it is telling about the Pseudomonas aeruginosa and produce mucoid colony. Mucoid colony, that means the Pseudomonas aeruginosa has produced a biofilm in the patient's airway. This biofilm, the question also ask about the pseudomembrane biofilm. So this is the important thing to remember. If the long question, that type of the term are given so that you can identify easily the what is the organism, what is the disease. So next thing, the non-typable Haemophilus influenza can cause exacerbation of the COPD, otitis media, and puerperal sepsis. Already told in the first question that the non-typable or non-invasive, the otitis media, sinusitis, puerperal sepsis, all things are which has caused non-typable Haemophilus influenza. And I am very glad that my all video have gives the more than 35 question in your NEET PG 2019. So must watch my videos. Most important that sure that the next DNB and AIIMS question, if you watch my video till last, so that and make a note and revise it, must be it you can attend more than 50 question, more than 50% question. So watch my video till last with passion. Next question is the virus neutralizing antibody. Virus neutralizing antibody are directed against viral protein determined on the viral particle, that means the capsid on the virus. This is the virus. I will upload on virus video. Next is the avian influenza. Avian influenza has potential to cause human infection with high mortality. The probable reason for not causing any pandemic, that the avian influenza, this is human to human transmission, no human to human transmission takes place due to avian influenza. So this is not causing any pandemics. Next is the true about the dengue hemorrhagic fever. Is it caused by the flavivirus or the arthropod-borne virus group, and it is active in the vector malnutrition. First main thing that the vector malnutrition may exert protective effect. That means if the patient is malnourished, then dengue hemorrhagic fever can't be affect the patient. So next point, the true about the amoeba histolytica infection. The what this is the question asking about this year also, and this is the thing that amoeba histolytica, most infection are asymptomatic. Amoebic liver abscess is the most common in the men. That are men and extra intestinal involvement may include brain, skin and lung. The asymptomatic, here the most common are asymptomatic amoebal liver abscess. What is the criteria? That means the HIV sauce like appearance, and also asking about the E. coli E. histolytica and amoeba histolytica. The infection in the GIT is the flask shaft ulcer, so can't we forget that flask shaft infection in the GIT by amoeba histolytica. The next question is that a 15-year-old girl returned to his village from another village after short stay and complained of the severe headache and fever, and was diagnosed as the case of the pyogenic meningitis and admitted, but died 5 days later. The organism that can be considered in the diagnosis is the Naegleria fowleria. Naegleria fowleria, that means it comes from the village, another village, and due to short stay between them and severe headache is the property and the fever, it causes pyogenic meningitis. Then this all feature are the regarding Naegleria fowleria. So Naegleria fowleria causing pyogenic meningitis. Next one is the true regarding staining of the microbes, the gram negative bacteria stain. It is the microbes staining property. The gram negative bacteria stain red. This is the not the hard thing. The both DNA and RNA present in the bacteria. This is, but the only one genetic material present in the virus particle. So either DNA or RNA, not both present in the virus. And bacteria, both DNA and RNA are present. The thing that I've reverse transcriptase, I forget to detail about that. The reverse transcriptase. What is reverse transcriptase? That means the reverse transcriptase, that is the according to the central dogma. According to the central dogma, the DNA form RNA, then protein. This is the sequence. This is known as the central dogma. Here, if the process RNA to DNA form, then again RNA form, from DNA, then protein is formed. This is called reverse transcriptase. Reverse transcriptase. This is by the hepatitis B and retrovirus. Let us start the next thing. The Giemsa stain smear of the epithelial cell obtained from the newborn with a hepatosplenomegaly, so the intranuclear inclusion surrounded by the clear halo, most common likely to the congenital infection, is the CMV. Here CMV is the clear halo. This is the clear halo and intranuclear inclusion body. The most common organism is the CMV. Next one is an elderly male patient presented with the nephropathy 2 months after renal transplantation. Viral etiological agent is the polyomavirus BK. Next, the causating organism for the AIDS was identified in the year 1983. This was asked in the AIIMS PG. The term Recrudescence in the malaria refers to recrudescence indicates the recurrence of the sexual parasitemia after the completion of the treatment. This is known as the recrudescence, that means again recur. The next one is the role played by MHC1, sorry, it is MIHC written, it is actually MHC first, and MHC2 is present, and it is present antigen for recognition by the T cell antigen receptor, or also known as the antigen presenting cell. Okay, next one is the neonatal sepsis is caused by the most common organism is the group B Streptococci, E. coli, Staphylococcus. Neonatal sepsis, the rapid growing atypical mycobacteria causing lung infection. Rapidly growing, they're asking about the rapidly growing, the M. chelonis, M. fortitum and M. abscisius is the causating organism, atypical mycobacteria. This is the most important thing and interesting thing about the mycobacteria. I will upload the full lecture on the mycobacteria. So next one is a young lady present with the sore throat, fever and headache for the 3 days. On examination, severe dehydration, BP is 90/50 mm of Ag and a small red spot on the distal aspect of the cup. The most probable it is the Neisseria meningitis cause sore throat, fever, headache, the severe dehydration, the BP fall, and a small red spot. It is the Neisseria meningitis, is the most common thing, and the distal aspect of cough causing the small red spot. Next, without wasting of the time, next one is the most sensitive and a repeat test for the diagnosis of the CMV retinitis. The repeat test is about the nucleic acid detection for the intraocular fluid. This is the repeat test. And next one is a method for acquiring the infection by the Legionella pneumophilia is the consumption of the contaminated water. It is due to contamination of water. An abattoir worker presented the malignant pustule on his hand, and that prognosed to form a ulcer. A smear was taken and sample sent to the lab. Diagnosis the cutaneous anthrax is the most common organism. And next one is the aerosol spirit leading to epidemics seen in the infection with the influenza. The patient present with the vesicles on the scene, the Jenck smear. Here the Jenck smear microscopy show a giant cell causing is in the varicella zoster. The HPV causing HPV, that means HPV causing organism base of the tongue, carcinoma, tonsillar carcinoma, and carcinoma of the cervix, human papilloma virus. The nasopharyngeal carcinoma is caused by, this is asked question, the Epstein-Barr virus causing nasopharyngeal carcinoma. If farmer from a sub-Himalayan region present with the multiple leak ulcer, the most likely causing agent is the Sporothrix sankey. This is the most question you have to given the important topic and important term, that means sub-Himalayan region. Here the Sporothrix sankey is the fungal infection. The endotoxin of the following gram-negative bacteria play a part in the pathogenesis of the natural disease is the E. coli, Klebsiella, and the Pseudomonas. It is the gram-negative bacteria. So next thing is which of the following features are shared between the T cell and B cell. This is the share factor, the class 1 MHC expression. Sorry, MIHC is not MHC expression. Instead, and antigen specific receptor. This is the share between the T cell and the B cell. Next one is the True about the bacteroid fragilis. The most it is the most frequent error isolated from the clinical samples. It is not uniformly sensitive to metronidazole and lipopolysaccharide formed by the respiration and the functionally different from the conventional endotoxin. The next topic is about the true about the prions. Prions is the long incubation period, and the prions is the most important topic for NEET PG DNB. This is question. One question is surely asked and repeated. So I will upload the video on the prions. So next is the true about IgE antibody. IgE antibody, it immediate release histamine and other chemical mediator. It is the primary antibody involved in the allergic reaction, and it is involved in the anti-parasitic immune response also. This is also IgE antibody is most important, and also the type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, type 4. Next question is the question about a 10-year-old child present with a severe sore throat and degree pseudomembrane over larynx. The pseudomembrane is the important point over the pharynx and tonsil. The organ is causing this infection is most likely gram-positive bacilli. I have already told about the pseudomembrane caused by the Corynebacterium diphtheria, and pseudomembrane also caused by the some other. I will upload that video on the medicine and pharmacology. So thanks for watching my video. Have a nice day. Please comments about my video and suggest me about any advice. Please write in my comments box. If you like my video, please like, subscribe and press the bell icon for the latest update. Have a nice day again. Thanks for watching my video. Please watch till last my video. This is more informative for you.